Much. Hello, everybody. Welcome again to this midweek edition of the Idle Pack Talk Show. Again, it's always a delight to have you guys here. We try to keep up on the current events, both in Canada, in Cameroon, and the world at large. Today, we are zoning in on Cameroon. As most of you know, we recently had a presidential election on October the 12th, last Sunday, where Cameroonians went to the poll to decide who's going to be the president for the next 7 years. We've been talking about this for months now, and we had an election. We're still waiting for official results. There has been a lot of caution, and we are here to discuss all of the above. So again, if this is something that interests you, if it's something that you care about, if our content is something that you like to see often, please give us a like, a share, and a follow. If you want to come online, we're more than happy to come and share your ideas. Just send us a request, and we'll be happy to add you to the live show. We have a few videos and images lined up. We're gonna be first set the stage, kind of like frame the conversation for today, and then uh, as the conversation rolls out, we will have videos and pictures to share and comment, and hopefully, we're gonna have a very interesting conversation. Again, it's an important period in the life of Cameroon and Cameroonians. We hope we're going to be as fair as possible and remain truthful to ourselves and to our audience without fear or favor. So, thank you once again and welcome. Just to frame the conversation, we've had elections. We are 3 day in. Um, we have not had official results yet. We have had a candidate who has taken upon himself to declare himself as the president, as the new president of Cameroon. We're going to talk about that. Um, we also going to talk about the situation of how the elections rolled out. As I'm interested for me to, I'm interested to know what your assessment is of the election, how it was run proper. What is your take? What have you heard? What are the people back home telling you about how the elections were conducted?
I think from what I've heard, most people say is that the elections was probably the most organized elections that they've had held in Cameroon. Um, I read people listen to people complimenting Elecam, which is Elections Cameroon, for managing the elections quite professionally.
Mhm.
I have heard that the election staff were properly trained, kind of they knew what they were doing. The polling stations opened on time. The registration lists were posted out on the wall so people could
Mhm.
check their names, and that kind of process was followed. I mean, the course of the elections. There were a few incidents where there were some hicks, but again, it's bound to happen, right?
Right.
But generally speaking, elections were run perfectly well. When it came to counting the votes, I know it was a lot more transparent than I have seen. I've witnessed
Mhm.
a lot of elections back home. I
Mhm.
think that this one was a lot more transparent. I'm not sure if it's because people were a lot more engaged and people seem to have learned that it's not just about voting and going home. It's about staying back and making sure that your vote is actually counted and directed to where it's supposed to go. So there were lots of people waiting for the 6 p.m. closing. I think it was 6 p.m. closing for election,
Right. Yes.
and they participated in the vote count, and they made sure that it was transparent and all that. There's also one thing which I'm not very sure about. I'm a little torn. Um, is what I see on social media. What I
Mhm.
have seen on social media on the evening of well, during the counting of the votes, where people would record the actual of the counts. They would take pictures of the tally. Again, I'm not sure if these pictures are accurate. I'm not sure if they are believable. I'm not sure if they are fabricated. And I feel like that is what everyone else is going by. I hear people
Mhm.
declaring Issa Chiroma as the winner of the 2025 elections. It's nothing official yet.
right.
And if they are just going by the things that I see on social media, I would say that we are heading heading into serious trouble,
Hmm.
because these are the things that resort to post-election violence. You start taunting people. You start telling people that their
Hmm.
votes are not considered. You start telling people how the government has manipulated and this person has done that. These stories, this is all what is going to happen. And again, you probably have seen incidents in Marwa and Douala where there's been some I don't know if I say riots or
Right. Yeah.
there's things happening, right?
Right. Yeah.
And again, I would think that these are the foundations. These are the foundations for that.
Hmm.
Things like that don't happen out of the blue. It builds
Hmm.
up, and I think this results that I see on social media seem to be building the foundation for trouble to come, and I worry, seriously worry about what lies ahead. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's such a great assessment. I want to narrow down a little bit. In your, I mean, you've been on social media, you've seen, and I heard you when you said it doesn't mean irregularities don't happen. There were lots of irregularities. Yeah, in your opinion, how many different videos of irregularities, like people miscounting, people trying to cheat, trying to distort the will of the people? Like, if you were to count, how many of such videos have you seen? It seems like the people who are saying that there's a lot of irregularities, in my opinion, and I'll be interested to hear yours, they are circulating maybe like five, six, maybe if you want to add a total
Mhm.
of 10
Different
videos,
angles, different angles, like the
different
same
angles,
video.
and they're just recycling the same thing.
Right.
Okay. If you put that in the context of 36,000 polling stations, okay, first of all, a
3,000
lot of those,
something,
36,000.
36,000 something
Yeah,
polling
polling
stations. Yeah.
stations. Right.
Hmm.
36,000 polling stations. And to be fair, a lot of these polling stations do not even have cameras or people with network to be able to see.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
there's a very high potential for cheating there.
Hmm.
But if I'm just looking at as on the bird's eye view, if I have an election of say 30, 36,000 polling stations, and I get to see maybe 10, 12, maybe even 50 videos of the same errors and the same people trying to cheat and the same people being hunted down by the polling station workers or just observers in general, and it's just different angles. They're recycling the same videos. I'm looking at in general, this was well run. Is that a terrible assessment?
No, I think that's a fair assessment. 36,000 polling stations
Yeah,
and 10 to 20 videos or evidence of foul play.
right.
That is it's minimal compared to the number of polling stations that are out there, right? So yeah, I definitely do agree with you that I've seen a few videos, but it seems to be videos, the same videos just being recycled on the internet, or the same videos taken from
Mhm.
different angles. I don't see a lot of those. I mean, 36,000 polling stations. You would expect when they talk about fraud and irregularities. I mean, we should see more videos. We should have
Morally,
more evidence than what we see now. So they talk about that. I'm like, yeah, even here in Canada, even in the
in the
United States,
US.
there are instances where votes are recounted and people claim that they've been cheated out of votes and things like that. But again, it's minimal. It is really minimal, to me, insignificant to even have a
Right,
serious conversation about vote rigging or fraud or cheating based on the evidence that I've seen,
right.
right? And again, we are talking about the big picture here, right? We are talking about 36,000 polling stations. And if
Mhm.
only 10 or 20 report incidents of cheating or irregularities, no, that is purely insignificant. To me, those are trivial
Right.
complaints
Like,
which people are putting forward to, again, I keep saying that people are using this to build on what might come next.
yeah.
That is what I think people are trying to do.
Mhm. Yeah, I said it. And we all are annoyed by people who are trying to cheat. We all are
Mhm.
angry and we are frustrated. And in the perfect world, you will not want to see people cheat the Cameroonians of their vote.
Mhm.
But if that's all we have, a few videos, even 100 videos, if that's all we have of cheating, and mostly in urban centers, and of which these people are confronted, and not to
Yep.
say that there's not cheating elsewhere. I'm sure there's cheating that goes unseen. But if all the evidence we have, it's that I'm like, to be fair, it was nicely run, and we have to give credit to Elekam for putting such a marvelous show to
Right.
show the Cameroonians that their votes really count. So it's been surprising for me to see the reaction from people on social media and groups that we share and on
Right.
Facebook and Instagram. Everybody's talking about all these frauds and cheating and stuff like that. But again, not to reiterate the point, it's the same videos. Okay, it's not like it's some massive. We keep seeing new videos. I mean, we might see, but so far, 3 days in, it's the same video. Okay.
It is.
Um. Okay. Let's shifting a little bit. We had the election. We talked a lot about the campaigns running up to the elections. We've now had the elections, and we've had some people who have declared themselves winners of the Fulcon election. I don't know if we have a video, if we want to go there first, or maybe I start with your assessment about Issa Tchiroma's declaration um, of his victory.
We clearly do not learn from our past, from history, even when we were part of that history. Issa Chiroma was part of Professor Maurice Kamto's history 7 or 8 years ago when he declared victory during the last presidential elections.
Right.
Issa Chiroma, then I think Minister of Communications, I
Communication.
believe,
Yeah.
was very upset and kind of called Professor Maurice Kamto to order, to account, and then turning around 7, 8 years later, doing the same thing. People say it's strategy, it's psychological, it's, but again, you can't play with it's kind of playing with the lives of Cameroonians.
Yeah.
Unlike Kamto, I get the feeling that Issa Chiroma is one who will let the people die just to become president.
Yeah.
I see the same pattern, but the difference between Kamto and Issa Chiroma was that Kamto backed down,
Right.
probably because he is not one who would ask people's children to go on the streets and die for him to become president. I fear that Issa Chiroma will not be able to restrain himself. He is going to let people go on the street and die on his behalf. He is declaring his. I mean, like it wasn't like, oh yeah, I won. I feel like he was clearly declaring that I won. The next
He had a picture, a presidential picture on the
kind of
background.
presidential picture, what Paul Biya typically has, what the president would typically have. He's done his, it's where it's just hanging back there, and he's telling the world that I want, I'm president. The incumbent should step down and kind of move away, right? Again, the reason why I'm so worried is that with Africa, again, we have a history of post-election violence where either the incumbent comes out saying that I've won, or the opposition comes out saying that they've won, and then they pit, you know, their people, and there's bloodshed and everything. Take, for example, Ivory Coast, Laurent Gbagbo, Alassane Ouattara in 2011.
Yeah.
Countless Ivorians
Right.
died,
Right. Yeah.
died,
They
just
died.
so that one person could become president.
Mhm.
Take the case of Kenya, 2007, Mwai Kibaki and Riley Odinga. Same thing.
Yeah.
Fought for up about a year. Again, take the
Gabon.
Gambia. Take Gambia. Yaya Jamel, 2016, 2017. I fear that it is a. I mean, you mentioned Gabon. It is a long list.
Jumping and Oyangema. Yeah.
So there's a long list
There
of
is
such post-electoral violence
right.
stories in Africa. And again, I fear that Cameroon might be heading down this road.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what is sad? During elections, when all the candidates are validated to be eligible to run, these people have to go to Elecam and sign the electoral code. And we have pictures of that to say, I am going to abide
Abide
by the
by.
laws of the nation, by the laws stipulated by Elecam, Elections Cameroon.
Mm-hmm.
They signed that document. They do say it is clearly, and we have pictures of that. It is clearly stated there. Election is going to take 15 days. I mean, if you have any problem with the rules, contest it before the elections,
Before the
not
elections,
after,
yes.
not after the elections. And we already said they said there are 36,000 polls in all in all honesty, given the infrastructural, the human resources, the
Mm-hmm.
road network of Cameroon, do
Mm-hmm.
you think that somebody in all sense and responsibility can be able to declare himself president after 24 hours of Cameroon? Like, come on now, that's not fair. For for me, the saddest part is seeing people that I consider intellectuals and honest people jumping on this bandwagon. And then they get to attack us that we don't want to see change. They get to
Mm-hmm.
attack people that have that we're just supporting President Pobia. We have to stem. I don't like Pobia. I don't care for the guy. He's 92 years old. We've talked about him a long time on this show. But then to be able to put someone in based on lies, based on misrepresentation,
Mm-hmm.
based on falsification,
Right.
based on blatant rejection of the rule of law, I think
Right.
it's very unfair for the Cameroonian people. And you are setting up a situation that we might not be able to contain
Mm-hmm.
in the next year. Just I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about the violence that has been happening
So
in the last few days.
so again, just talking about people's, again, we talk about knowing these intellectuals and all these, sometimes emotions surpasses your intellect, that
Yeah,
you're so emotionally invested in something that you don't reason. Critical thinking goes out of the window, right? I get the feeling that's what's happening. There are parts in the southwest, take Ndian for example. There are parts of Ndian where it takes 2-3 days from that little village maybe to Kumba and then to Boya. 3 days, that's a 3 days trip. And there are several parts, I mean, there are little villages in Cameroon. There are little
in the far north.
villages in the far north, little villages in Libya, Lemfa. It
If
takes
Libya,
it takes days to come into town. So I get, do we want to count the votes and ignore the votes of the masses who are way in
in the rural,
who live
rural area.
in the rural areas? Their votes don't count because all everything you see on social media is Douala, is Boya, is
The
Limbe.
limbe, right?
They're city centers, right? That's not when they talk about Cameroonians, it doesn't end with the city centers. They are a majority of the votes are in the hinterlands, way in the bushes. So do we count the votes from the city and base, the winner just based off the votes that we feel like we've counted? By the way, I don't see anything official. I don't see any official. They call it PVs, process verbal. I'm
Process
not
robot.
seeing any of. I see writing on the wall. I could sit in my house and
And
tabulate those results, take a picture, put it out there, and confuse the masses. That is what's
yeah,
happening on social media. And for those who are smart enough, they know that what you see on, don't take what you see, don't believe what you see on social media, because people fabricate. I could sit in my house and tabulate results and say this one comes from a village in Leban, where I know
yeah.
nobody is going to be able to call anyone to verify. I
To
put
verify.
it on social media and I say this is the what we've gotten from this part of the country, and Issa Tchiroma won. That is what they are doing. That is what they are. I mean, what is this?
What's that? Can't you do that in your house?
I could do that in my basement. What about that? What is that? Right? I mean,
Yeah.
what is this? This is
You
what
can work this out in a computer in 5 minutes.
people are taking at face value and assigning. Jesus Christ, man. People need to be serious. It's not child's play. This is an actual country that we are talking about. You don't You don't do this.
And you know me and we belong in associations. Some of them sports, some of them cultural. This will not fly
It will not.
in in a small association that we have run by maybe with a total member of like 30 people. You cannot post this on the association forum and say this is what happened and tabulate and like this. People are going to question you, and rightly so. They want to know what happened to their votes. Okay, and then we'll putting this on the country as if we have no rule of law. It's really sad. And to be able to see people who are smart, I consider them intelligent. I consider they are they 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 are able to command language and say things in a very articulate manner. But to see them playing with the lives of Cameroonians and putting the lives of young Cameroonians at risk, it's very sad. It's
Mm,
really sad. And to say this doesn't mean that you're supporting Paul Biya. Okay, because usually that's the accusation that is levied against people who have your idea or mine, that
mm,
we want Bobby. Nobody who cares about 92-year-old. We all feel ashamed saying that, but we can't in the next breath say that we want someone to come in just because we feel like. Okay, we should want the will of the people to be represented, and it is incumbent of everybody to remain truthful because they need to post, they need to break news, they need to be
mhm,
found to be relevant in social media
mhm,
as taken
mhm.
as taken
Breaking
over. They
news.
need to be
Right,
truthful, but
right.
people are not truthful, and it's really sad to see. Okay, it's very sad. We have for my dear friend Don M. Newton. Reporting live from Coventry. I think he has a comment. It's premature for Chiroma to declare himself winner, whereas there are 31,000 polling stations where he didn't even have representative in all 31,000 polling stations, whereas CPDM has representatives in all polling stations. Like this, can you tell me? We had Issa Tchiroma. We're talking about him here. How popular was Issa Tchiroma 3 weeks ago, a month ago? In all fairness, I think
Mhm.
I think he just jumped on the bandwagon. He's only filling a void made
Yeah,
possible
right.
by Maurice Kamto.
Mauritius, right.
And also, a lot of people are dissatisfied and very unhappy with Paul Biya. He's been there for 42 years. A lot of people don't like it and they want him out. That's a fair that's a fair assessment of the situation. So most people did not vote for Issa Chiroma. They voted against Paul Biya, actually. They
Mhm.
just wanted something. We talked about this here. They were just looking for something to hang on. They do not like Paul Biya, and Issa was the necessary evil. But he was not that popular 3 weeks ago, a month ago, even
No,
before he started campaigning. He
no.
went to Bamenda, what? How many times? One
One,
time? Did he even
one,
spend like
or
3 hours
2 hours.
in Bamenda?
Yeah.
Did he even
He,
go to
he,
Boya?
he
Sorry,
went to the center of town,
city chemist.
and after 2 hours, he went back. Now, Bamenda has how many
How many
subdivisions
parties?
with little villages and little villages. So they think that the one time that he stopped changed the minds of every citizen in the northwest region. Because again,
Lord,
that's the impression they are giving me.
no.
Did he even come to the southwest
I think he stopped in Boya
or
briefly.
Limbe?
Or Limbe, yeah. I think it was
One
Limbe, yes.
one campaign stop, one campaign stop for a few hours. That was it. Now he is not the most charismatic leader that I know. He's not the most eloquent,
Right.
right? So they mean that he took 3 hours to convince the whole of Southwest and everyone in the Southwest region, even those in the villages who were not even part of
Right.
the campaign, who might never hear of that campaign because there are villages where there's no internet,
There's no internet,
where
there's no
there's no
radio
internet,
station.
so there's no the radios, no signal. So they tell me that people in these villages knew about Issa Chiroma two
It's
days
much
before the
more.
day of the elections.
Yeah.
It baffles me. And
It's
again,
very
meetings
baffling.
meetings point is pretty clear. You you
Right.
you're claiming that you were victorious. I mean, how many representatives did you have
Right.
representing you in these 31,000 plus polling stations?
Mhm.
Are you sure
How
you
many?
had? Is he sure he had representative? Because a friend of mine made a very good analysis in one of the forums that I am in. He said Issa Chiroma did not have time to
So
set up the mechanism
he
for
did
a
not.
proper campaign. right? Because again, Maurice Kamto was there, so I'm sure he knew that his chances were zero. So again, he did not take the time to build a proper campaign, to build the foundation, to build representatives like Maurice Kamto might have done.
Right.
So he cannot claim that he was able to secure 31,000 representatives to be present in each and every polling station in Cameroon. He cannot claim that.
By the way, you need two. You need two
By
representatives.
the
So
way,
you
you
need
need to. I mean,
61.
I'm just being
Yeah.
modest
I'm just yeah.
by saying, okay, we minimum one.
Minimum one. Yeah.
You can't claim that, right? So going out and claiming that you won without any real evidence and without, I mean, again, let's just due process.
Due
Let's
process.
wait for whoever is
And
supposed to
and I, and
declare
I think we
that.
and I think we have the
The video.
electoral code that we can put out
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Um, it
Which
does
I think
say
which
that you're supposed to have, I think, no,
this the,
132 or something.
the other one. Okay,
The other one. It does say you're supposed to have a representative. Okay,
there you go.
134. I don't think one. So
You sent two, I believe.
yeah. Uh,
The Constitutional Council may.
this is proclamation of results. I'm sorry.
You want the other one?
Yeah, the other one.
Okay.
We have an 83-page document of the Electoral Code of Cameroon by Elekam. If anybody wants to know anything about running an election in Cameroon, you
It's
can
right
just
there.
go and read it. It's on the internet. Okay. So this is
Process.
just talking about yeah, this is just talking about the process of counting the vote.
Right.
Once the counting is over, the results are obtained in each polling station and shall be proclaimed. That's 113. Section
Mm-hmm.
114. Any objections which may be raised by electors at the time of voting counting shall be decided upon by the local polling station commission and
Mm-hmm.
shall be recorded in the report.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that means for you to even make an objection that there was
It,
cheating, there
it
was
starts.
malpractice, it starts from the polling station. You need
Right.
to have a representative. You
Yep.
can't tell me from being very unpopular and then suddenly you have 31,000 people to be able to stand on your behalf and say um, um, the elections were fraudulent, and the CPM might very well cheat and falsify results, but you don't have a representative there to counter that. Okay, it's not the civilian's problem, it's your problem, and you are just riding on the popularity horse, and you think you've made it. People forget how much Kamto has worked, and they take it for granted. Kamto
Mm-hmm.
started the party in 2012 before he ran in 2018. 2018. Even then, he did not have observers in all the polling
Polling
stations.
station.
He was
Even
severely lacking. Even
doesn't.
SDF,
And
even
SDM has been
SDF
has been around for a long time.
did not have. Okay, and then only in 2018 there were about 25,000 polls. So they've added about 10,000 or more,
Mm-hmm.
or so. And then you want to say overnight, Issa Tchiroma was able to have observers can legally certify the results from a polling station. Give me a break. Give me a break, people. And again, just to reiterate, the saddest thing for me is the people that I consider smart, people with PhD, people learned people, people with professional backgrounds, people who can, read the paper and make insightful judgment.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to be able to believe a lie, put the lives of Cameroonians in jeopardy, put the sovereignty of the colony in jeopardy, just because of their hatred of poor beer. you know, and that's fair. You can hate the guy. I don't like him for any particular reason. I think he's destroyed the country a lot. But for you to say that it is okay for houses to be burned, for
Mm-hmm.
government buildings to be burned, for
Mm-hmm.
people to go in and destroy and even try to attack election workers because you do not agree with the results of a particular politician or the way the election is going, it's very despicable to me. I'm sorry to say. It's really sad to hear that from people that I hold them in high regard, that they are willing to sacrifice not just infrastructure, but the lives of young Cameroonians who will be used as sacrificial lamb
They are
just
always.
because they do not agree with the results of the elections. It's sad. It's really sad, and they condone the violence. They don't. I mean, they don't condone the violence. They condone it. They support it. They want it for them. It's a means to an end. They don't care if the country goes in flames, as
Hmm.
long as they can make a statement that they don't want beer. It's sad. It's really sad. And this is. I feel like we have to say this all the time. We don't like beer. We don't support it. Okay. And but if you make such an argument, it's always argument. Oh, you want beer to stay there? Have you taken something from the government? Like, come on, people. Come on, people. Okay, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I went on the rant. I don't know if you have a comment.
No, no, yeah, we were talking about you're right. We're talking about again this it's connections, right? You can hardly just stick to to, to one area because it's clearly interconnected. But yeah, I think where we were going to with this was we wanted to kind of listen to Maurice Kamto's a portion of his declaration of victory, right? I think that's where we start with, and then
In
we'll
2018. Oh, Issa, sorry.
Issa Chiroma's. I mean,
Always come to the
Maurice
run.
Kamto was the one who was supposed to be declaring victory, but anyway,
I know.
uh, Issa Chiroma's victory.
Mes chers compatriotes camerounaises, camerounais, ma reconnaissance va aussi
Wait, wait.
à nos soldats, à nos journalistes,
Sorry, I think
à
that's the
notre diaspora. Je dis, vous avez tenu bon et vous avez gagné. Ensemble, nous allons tourner la page. Ensemble.
I'm sorry, that is not.
Mhm.
I had the English version, which I thought I pulled out. Um, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Can you just go on
Yeah,
while?
why you look that up? I'm sure my dear friend Newton had a
Yeah,
comment.
I'll
I
put
don't
his
know.
comment up,
Can
then
you
you
yeah
can
put his comment so I can read it
you can look at it. Yes, and then while I
why you go through that.
find the video.
Okay.
Okay.
To be honest, we want change in Cameroon, but this is all fake results online and AI generated videos. It's not helping. I fear
Mm,
for the stability of Cameroon. And it seems Chiroma wants people to die for him to be president. He doesn't care about Cameroonians' life. He is indirectly inciting civil unrest in Cameroon. Kamto did call for calmness during his time, but Chiroma is saying stand up, fight. This is such a great statement because Issa is telling the military to respect the will of the people. I'm sorry, what is the will of the people? You're telling other people. He says the oppositions have called him to congratulate him. Which opposition
mm,
have called you? You should tell us the opposition parties that have called you to congratulate you.
mhm.
Okay, and then you tell the civil societies and the international community to be able to respect the will of the people. He is going against rules that he clearly signed up for. Okay, because for you to be able to receive funds to campaign or for you to be deemed eligible by the Constitutional Council, you must have gone to all these appointments and all these meetings to say you are going to abide by the rules and regulation by the electoral code of the Cameroon government, of the Cameroon Election Commission. I'm sorry. But for you to know all of this and then still come out and say you are victorious, it's sad, and you really don't care about Cameroonians. You're only here for your own personal gain, and to see people just going up and down, Issa Tchiroma president, Issa Tchiroma president, without necessarily stopping to think, how is he president? Excuse me. Where did he win? How did he win? Where are the results? Is despicable to me, in my opinion. So I totally share the assessment of Milton. Um, um, and if he says something like this, like we've said, they're going to say he's gotten money from CPDM or he supports Pobia or he wants Pobia to be there forever. Which I mean, you can hold both statements. You can say you don't like the president of the country and still say that the way Issa Choma is going about it, it's wrong. It's totally wrong. It's not something that is supposed to be accepted in a democracy. Okay. So thank you, Milton. I don't know. I know it's probably early morning for you, but if you're willing to come on, we'll be more than happy to have you share your insights. But I appreciate your comment, my brother. It's nice to read from you.
Okay, let's see if I got the right one.
Dear compatriots, Cameroonian women and men, today it is with deep emotion and immense pride that I address you. Together, we have written history. Throughout this campaign, I saw a Cameroon standing tall. I saw women, men, youth, and elders braving threats, facing intimidation, yet remaining mobilized. I saw voters keeping watch in polling stations until the end of the night, protecting their voices, defending the truth of the ballot box. This courage, this determination will forever remain engraved in the memory of our nation. First, I want to say thank you to the Cameroonian people. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you for believing in change. Thank you to all who voted and to all who protected their vote. You are the true heroes of this victory. My gratitude also goes to all the men and women who fought this battle before me. Without your work, we would not be here today. For this, I say thank you. I also thank the candidates who have already sent me their congratulations and recognize the will of the people.
So why was it hard for him to say which of the candidates have? Because if I really had received a phone call from a candidate, I'm sure it would be a public. It could be a pub. You could publicly.
That's validation of your position. You should put it out there.
Put it out there. Say I received a call from this person. But again, it clearly did not receive a call from Joshua Osei, because we have Joshua Osei.
We have his statement.
His statement, not from Cabral Libi, because I've also seen a statement from Cabral Libi. Did not endorse. He did not come out to support his victory. So which of the candidates is he talking about? And that is where my problem is. And that is where the problem is with us. We make statements without providing proof or evidence to back up. There's no corroboration. We make a statement and we move past it as if you were the law, as if
we're not smart, as if we're all dumb and we're sheep. We're just supposed to go to the slaughterhouse and get our next cut. Who? I mean, that's a fair question to ask. Who has called you? Who to congratulate you? Who? I mean, if you see in the U.S. elections, when Trump loses or Trump wins or Barack Obama wins, the other person calls, and that is how they start their speech. Right. I just received a call from President this, congratulating me, blah, blah, blah. And then you go on social media and you see videos actually that person calling and congratulating. You know, I mean, they have a perfect system.
Or you see a tweet, or you see a letter, or you see a message. Now you say you've been called by opposition parties. Again, I've mentioned Joshua Osei, who put out his own concession speech. He did not validate or recognize you as president. Cabral Libi did not do the same. Akere Muna, the Bello Bubas, nobody that we know that we've at least seen something from them after the election. Nobody mentioned your name. Not even Issa Tchiroma may have nothing about Issa Tchiroma. So who called you? Which of the opposition leaders are you talking about? Right? I think that's a question to ask. I don't know if people are asking, but it's a fair question to ask. Why not validate and legitimize your claim of winning by saying that this individual politician, this individual opposition leader called me? You make a general statement and you want the people to believe that
we're just supposed to. I mean,
their gesture honors our democracy and marks the beginning of a new era where the unity of the opposition and the civil society becomes an irreversible force. I want to say it.
What unity of opposition is he talking about?
I don't know.
Him and Bello Buba could not agree. They left Kamto hanging. Kamto could not even endorse anybody because him and Bello Buba did not want to compromise and become one opposition party. So what united opposition is he talking about? Okay, this is really crazy. There's a lot of things that are just hanging in the air that needs more explanation. But you just make a statement and go move forward like nothing happened. I mean, coming from someone who's the Minister of Communication, and I think we have evidence to say in his time as Minister of Communication, this kind of verbiage will not fly.
Will not fly.
You have to explain exactly what you mean. Who called you? Who's the united opposition? What are you talking about? Okay, you have to explain these things. You can't just say it in passing and then we'll just sit there and clap and say, well done. You're saying everything that you're saying is correct. Like, I mean, we have children. If your child makes such a statement, you will not let your child go without explaining. What do you mean? You said your friend called you to say you're the best student in your class. Which friend called you? I mean, that's a natural question to follow with that kind of a station. That kind of
First of all, you're going to say, I haven't seen the report card, which is
you're going to
what
say that.
we haven't seen. And then secondly, you say your friends called you and your teachers called you. Which of your teachers called? Something.
I mean, and we are only parents just running a household of maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 people. We will not let this fly with our kids of 2, 3, 4, 5-year-olds. You will not let this fly in your home. And that is a mini government that you have in your home. And then we're talking about a country of about 30 million people. Come on, we have to be serious. We have to be more serious than this.
With gravity and simplicity, the people have chosen, and this choice must be respected. I call on all institutions, all administrative authorities, all officials, not to make themselves enemy of the people they are meant to serve. The time of fear, manipulation, and false calculation is over. The only camp that matters today is that of Cameroon. To our defense and security forces, I pay tribute to your loyalty. I call on you to remain on the side of the Republic and of the people. Do not let anyone divert you from your sacred mission to protect the people, not a regime. To the youth of Cameroon, I say, the future belongs to you. To our teachers, our workers, our farmers, our soldiers, our journalists, our diaspora, I repeat, you stood firm and you won. Together, we will turn the page. Together, we will reconcile our nation, rebuild our institution, and open the path to a just, dignified, and fraternal future.
I don't know that he said anything past that. He's a politician playing games.
He was a politician too, and true. I was going to highlight one thing he said.
Yeah.
Do not make yourself the enemy of the people.
Mm.
He's talking about the
Forces of
civil
law and order.
officials, the forces of law and order, the civil administrators, and all that. And then he, in the next breath, says, "The time of manipulation and false calculation is over." You are literally manipulating and false calculating. That's literally what you are doing to us right now.
Right.
You like in all like I don't know how he sat with himself and recorded that video and put it out about what is it? Well, it wasn't up to 48 hours after the election.
Right.
And he has the the guts and the effrontery to say the time of manipulation and the time of false calculation, it's over. Do not, talking to the law, the forces of law and order and the civil administrators, do not be the enemy of the people. Why he's doing the exact same thing? He's setting him of himself to be the enemy of the people, and he is manipulating. He is false calculating. Okay, I don't know if he's had time to watch what's been happening. The law of the forces of law and order are arresting people who are burning buildings. I don't know if they're respecting him or they're respecting the civil administrators. Okay, I mean, if you're president, why are they arresting your supporters? I mean, it's sad. The situation, the hypocrisy is so obvious for us to see, and again, there are people we consider intelligent, people we consider smart, who are willing to put Cameroon in flames just because of their hatred of Pobia. And Pobia, there's a lot to hate about him, but you are willing to sacrifice the lives of people, buildings, infrastructure, the rule of law, the democracy that we've had for so many years, that has led us up to this point for so many years, with all its faults and all its deficiencies. You are willing to let that all off just because you hate the outcomes of the elections. It's really sad. It's really sad.
I mean, just going back to the hypocrisy, we have, again, like we say, history is somewhat repeating itself with the same individuals who participated in previous history. We have a video of the last presidential elections, Maurice Kamto's declaration of victory, and Issa Tchiroma's response to that. Let's listen.
Le Camerounais a resté mobilisé et à une résistance déterminée à la forfaiture.
Vous savez, quand vous avez affaire à des illuminés, quand vous avez affaire à des gens mus par la boulimie du pouvoir, parce que vous savez, lorsque le pouvoir fascine, il se met au travers du génie et de l'intelligence, ce qui fait que c'est l'émotion et la passion qui agissent. Le lendemain de l'élection, alors qu'on n'a pas réussi, même la commission départementale de recensement de vote n'a pas fini de collecter, il se proclame auto-élu. Nous avons affaire à un illuminé professeur de droit.
Il a été ministre dans le gouvernement de M. Biya. Vous ne pouvez pas parler d'un illuminé. Donc vous avez validé la candidature à une élection présidentielle.
Oui, mais alors je vais vous dire, madame, une chose. Je ne voudrais pas parler du professeur Kamto. Je voudrais simplement, avec beaucoup de respect que je lui dois, rappeler simplement une chose. Ce pays nous appartient à nous tous. Le Cameroun est un usufruit pour lequel tous nous devons être des gardiens et des protecteurs. Nous avons le droit de jouissance, mais personne n'a le droit de le mettre à feu et à sang. C'est pour cette raison que nous devons nous organiser pour empêcher tout perturbateur qui passe au travers. Et puis le professeur, il est professeur de droit. En prenant cette position, il sait à quel risque il s'expose.
En prenant cette position, il sait à quel risque il s'expose.
Est-ce qu'il connaît à quel risque il s'expose maintenant?
You see the hypocrisy. You see the hypocrisy. Minister of Communications, yes, challenging Maurice Kamto and condemning him for auto-proclaiming himself a victor, and only to turn around and do the same thing. Like the comment read, don't do unto others what you wouldn't want them to do unto you. What is happening to him today, if at all anything is happening, is what he did to Maurice Kamto. 8 years ago, he did that. It's simply just repeating itself. But because he is I don't know if he thinks he's Superman or if he thinks he's beyond reproach, repeating the same mistake. It's not up to 48 hours after elections. Votes have not even been, and he's declared himself winner of the election. How is that possible? Why shouldn't it be applicable to Maurice Kamto, but yet be applicable to you today? What was bad for the goose Yesterday cannot be bad, cannot be good for a different goose today, right?
Yeah.
That is exactly what's happening. That is exactly what is happening.
All right.
I don't know if you have any comment before we go to another
I, I,
video.
I, I was just thinking that maybe we would have just put the title of this video Issa Tchiroma versus Issa Tchiroma. I think that would have been
Clearly,
a perfect that would have been a
clearly, yeah.
perfect fit because you don't need any explanation. If I were going in for a presentation and I only have 5 minutes, I'll just get a clip. Issa Tchiroma 2018, Issa
It's like,
Tchiroma 2005. You just play both videos. Okay, this is what he said, and this is what he says now. This is what he said, and this is what he says now. Okay, make a judgment for yourself.
mm-hmm.
Okay, make a judgment for yourself, and you just let people decide for themselves. You don't need to do any explanation because this is sad. This is really sad to watch. And I am, I don't know how I made you the video, but the person that I really want to know his thoughts now is Maurice Kamto. I want to really know what Maurice Kamto is thinking right now. It's like looking at Issa Tchiroma with his own, with his declaration. I don't know what Maurice Kamto will be thinking. He's probably saying that, look at this idiot. Look at this fool. Look at this liar. Look at this disloyal person. I will pay $1 million to be in Maurice Kamto's thoughts right now about to know what he thinks about Issa Tchiroma because he will be. My imagination is he will be so disappointed. He will be so flabbergasted, and I don't know, maybe in a way relief to see that these things can happen to anybody.
Anybody?
So I will pay $1 million to be able to know what Maurice Kamto thinks about about Issa Tchiroma right now. Yeah, I mean, enough said. Yeah, people who are watching can make their own decisions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's listen to this, the next video.
Chaque parti politique d'avoir au moins 2 représentants par bureau de vote. Parce qu'en cas d'indisponibilité de l'un, qu'il puisse donc se faire remplacer par l'autre. Ce qui revient à dire donc que chacun des compétiteurs, pour qu'une revendication soit légitime, parce qu'il faudrait qu'il soit présent sur l'ensemble des 25 000 bureaux de vote. Pour que la revendication soit légitime, il faudrait qu'il présente à l'égard aux uns aux autres 25 000 noms identifiables avec numéro de téléphone et autres. 25 000. 50 000, pardon. Parce que si vous multipliez 25 000 bureaux de vote par 2 personnes qui doivent être dans chaque bureau de vote, vous aurez donc 50 000 personnes qui doivent être présentes. Il faudrait donc que toute revendication de bourrage des urnes, d'irrégularité, soit précédée par la mise à disposition des uns et des autres, le Conseil constitutionnel, délégant, et de toute personne de bonne foi et de bonne volonté qui voudrait comprendre que ces éléments-là soient mis à la disposition des uns et des autres pour crédibiliser une telle revendication. Faute de quoi? Faute de quoi? C'est simplement une mauvaise foi, une mauvaise volonté, et parce qu'ils sont donc probablement, je le dis sous réserve, je me demande s'il faudrait que je le dise, c'est de mauvais perdants. Vous ne pouvez pas, ne disposant d'aucun moyen, ne présentant ou n'exhibant aucun moyen concret, déclarer urbi et orbi que vous êtes.
Is he a sore loser, Ghana?
By his own words, yes, of course. If you were judging him by what he said, he is a sore loser. It is unimaginable for him to be able to have almost 60,000 observers in all the 30,000 plus polling stations we have on the national territory. So, by his own estimation, he is a sore loser, and he is of bad faith and of bad intention, as he described Maurice Kamto, because he knows he's lost. He is just here to rile up Cameroonians, to cause civil unrest, to destabilize the country. And for me, that's just a logical conclusion to his outing. And it's sad to watch that someone who has been part of the government, who has defended a government that he, in many situations, disagree with, is now on the other side of the fence and seems to dismiss the rule of law and order, seems to dismiss um, um, common sense, the respect of the vote of the people. It's sad to watch, and I don't know what else to say.
Did he forget, or is it dementia? Did he forget the electoral code that he so eloquently expressed in 2018? Did he?
Forget what?
Because
He's just been a politician.
he clearly laid down he clearly laid down the rules. This is what needs to happen. Clearly laid down the
Yeah, he
rules
knows.
without reading from a piece of
He,
paper, so it's in his head. He laid down the rules clearly. This is what needs to happen. You need to have 2 representatives in each polling station, which means by our count, they need to have about 72 or more representatives.
yeah,
That's legal names and contact information.
yeah.
And how do you revindicate? How do you challenge an elections in a polling station where you were not there?
You have no
Where
observer.
you had no representatives in the first place. Who
Yeah,
speaks for you? Who speaks on behalf of you in that case?
in that case,
Right?
if CPA then steals the election, how do you
How will
say
you
that?
know?
How will you know?
How do you know? How do you know?
It's sad to
And again,
watch.
it's not, we are not just talking about Issa Tchiroma. It's not just Issa Tchiroma. I can assure you that Cabral Libi did not have a representative in any polling station in
Right.
the north or the southwest.
Yeah.
I can also guarantee you that the SDF did not have representatives in every polling station,
Even in the north or southwest.
even in the north and
Even
southwest province. Talk less of the Bello Buba Magaris and the other 3, 4 or 4 candidates. The only political party that could boast of having maybe would be the CPTM.
Yeah.
And if you only have the CPTM in a polling station, how do you challenge the results that they send to Elekam?
They can do whatever they want. Yeah.
They can do whatever they want.
It's sad. It's
You make
sad
it
to
easy.
watch.
You make it very easy for the government. Make it very easy for the incumbent to remain in power. Very easy.
I mean, then hit Atanga Nji as much as you want. This guy has
So he knows the rules.
presented the perfect. Atanga Nji is probably just salivating now and dreaming. He was probably dreaming of this moment. You know, he hate him as much as you want, and a lot of people hate him for maybe how he speaks and stuff like that. But he has every reason to go after this guy and tell him that you are trying to drive us to a civil unrest. You're trying to drive us to a civil war. Okay, and he has his justifications for that. You cannot even argue. But if you're Tangaji now, you have every right, every reason to be able to call him to order, to call Issa Tchiroma to order. And I hope he does. I think he hasn't come out and said anything particular, but he said indirectly, and just probably because of his respect for Issa Tchiroma. But everything is up there for taking down this guy, because this is clearly dishonest. This is clearly setting up a Cameroonian youth, especially the ones who have nothing to lose, to become the sacrificial lamb, to be jailed. Some will be killed for nothing, because all of this outing has nothing to do. When the time is due, the Constitutional Council is going to declare whoever the president will be. And not you riot unless you want to go to civil. I mean, we cannot predict what is going to happen, but everything is going to be, the proclamation is going to come up from the Constitutional Council, and you cannot by yourself take upon yourself to say you're the new president. Okay, it's really sad. It's really sad for us to watch, and I don't know. I don't know what to say. Again, we have families, young kids, and whatever. This will not fly for all the people that I know. This kind of, if you use the same analogy for running your household, your kids giving such an excuse, or whatever, will not fly in your household. Yeah.
It is simple accountability. Accountability. That's it.
Yeah, Don M says, I honestly pray he wins, because if he doesn't, he will explain his statement before Pahatanga. I smell trouble for him. He has indirectly fallen into his trap. I love this idle back talk show.
Again,
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, like
Sorry.
you said, it's some people say it's treasonous to declare elections before the actual the body that has a responsibility to do so.
Right.
So I mean, Minister Atanga Nji has every right, probably is just gathering evidence now, just waiting for Issa Tchiroma to go out and run his mouth so that he can collect evidence and evidence that could be used against him. I remember the same thing was done to Moise Kamto. Again, same thing. Issa Tchiroma was part of the government then. Same thing. Moise Kamto went ahead and said, oh, declare himself. And before you know it, he was under house arrest. And before you know it, he was locked up in Konige or somewhere for declaring that he was president before the Constitutional Council proclaimed the results. He is doing the same. And I would not be surprised if 2 days, based on the destructions and the rioting that we are seeing in his name, I will not be surprised if we hear that he's under house arrest tomorrow, or that he's been picked up and is dragged to some prison somewhere. I would not be surprised. I know he's way up there in the north, and he seems to have a strong following up there. But again, you know, people would have to. People have to understand at some point that you can't fight the military, you can't fight the force of law and order. You either go to die or you walk away, and eventually people will walk away, just like they did for Moise Kamto. I thought that people were going to get on the streets and die for Moise Kamto, but people don't want to lose their lives in that way. So eventually, you know, Issa Tchiroma would have to be held accountable in one way or the other.
One way or the other. Yeah. And we also have to put this in context. Like we said earlier, people did not really vote for Issa Tchiroma more than they voted against Paul Biya. People just hated Paul Biya that much. They hate Paul Biya. They hate that he's been there for a long time. They hate the situation of the country. They hate that everybody is suffering. So people really just voted against Paul Biya. So when you put that, there really is no organized movement. There really is no natural love for the candidate who has declared himself president. There really is no substantial basis for people to be even go out there and to be able to riot and take a day off work or their business and stand there. Because to be honest, people don't really love the guy that much. They see all the hypocrisy. They can count that. Really, what is driving people is their hate for Paul Biya, is their hate for the situation of the country, is their hate for the bad roads, the bad governance, the unemployment, really that's what driving. It's not because they love this guy too much. Okay, and I hate to predict what is going to happen in the future, but my estimation is that this is going to die down in the near future. People are going to get tired. Like, this guy is also a liar. He's been in the government. He's lying. We see through all the hypocrisy and it's not worth my time. It's not worth my job. Of course, you're going to have a few people who will smoke their manga or drink their mimbo and think that a bullet cannot penetrate through their chest, or they're easily. Or they can avoid the forces of law and all that. And a lot of people can avoid that. But should you be the scapegoat, you will suffer the consequences.
Yes.
And then you will not see all the crowd beside you.
Yes.
You're by yourself in that jail, and you are going to suffer because the government is going to use you like an example. And
I was going to wait until we get to, but I think this video follows exactly what you said. We are going to get back on track, but I want to play this video just because it depicts exactly what you said. You might go on the street in a group, but once you're caught, you would have to face the consequences alone. Nobody's going to come. Issa Tchiroma is not going to come and save you.
Yeah.
Let's
le centre-ville de Tchang a été sécurisé totalement.
Oh, do you remember this video?
Yeah, I can give context.
Could you give context, please?
This is the rector of the University of Chang's resident. Okay, so if you from the University of Boya, so kind of like a vice chancellor, that is the rector's residence.
Private residence, not his
private
office.
residence, not his office. His private residence. His private residence that supporters, maybe some supporters of Issa Tchiroma, or those who did not like the outcome of the election so far, they have not even released the result.
Elections that they claim that they're winning, but they don't like.
Yeah, they're winning, but they don't like the outcome when they're not even. Like, how do you explain that? Like,
Why are you on the street burning when you've won?
When you won, when like, have you ever thought of explaining Cameroon to your co-workers or your friends that are non-Cameroonian? It's like it doesn't even make sense. Okay, like people elections that have not been declared, but you think you're winning, and then you go out to the private residence of the rector of the University of Chan to do what? To burn. They were burning his gate to
Yeah,
burn, to destroy, and it's a very fair assumption to say they were trying to kill them.
of course.
Okay. If a lawyer takes that case, that's a very why are you jumping over
Right.
someone's fence? Why are you jumping over? Okay. So that's just the context. That's the rector of Chance private residence. That you have people who watch the video.
And again, we don't condone violence. We don't
Well,
condone
not in no way.
heavy-handedness by the military or by the police. But
Well,
again, this is what happened, and we are
this is
just going to bring it
yeah,
as we got it right.
yeah.
Okay. I'll put it back.
À part le bâtiment de Téléville qui a pris feu et une partie de la zone du commissariat, tous ces malfrats se sont transportés ici chez le recteur. Ils ont commencé à brûler la guérite. Fort heureusement, nous sommes arrivés à Tang et nous avons une vingtaine d'assaillants dans la résidence du recteur. Nous les délogeons, on a délogé environ 5, les autres sont en haut.
My viewers' discretion is probably advised here.
Yeah.
Maintenant, mettez-le, attachez-le. Déposez-moi ça. Regarde-moi ça. Ça veut son pantalon que tu l'attaches.
C'est même le baba.
Le coquin est où? C'est toi mon bonhomme. Montez là-bas. C'est vous ici. Montez là-bas avec toi.
We're watching off. Okay. Remember during the afternoon, those people were probably in a group with every.
It was a crowd. It was clearly a crowd.
Yeah. There's clearly a crowd there, and lots of people. And then you, and I felt this too when I was dismissed for 5. You know, when you guys are in a group, you're feeling good, but when you're out of the dormitory, you're in front of the road, and you're about to take the taxi,
and you're going to your house alone.
You're going to,
there's no backup. There's no support.
There's no backup. There's no support, and you have to make that awful call to your dad, or you have to knock that door. Like your hand is so heavy to even raise and knock the door. You feel so alone. You feel so let down. You feel like you are in the wrong place at the wrong time. You feel like the world has turned against you because you are by yourself. All the camaraderie you had from the people that you're walking down the street with, that you think they're gonna be there to support you. We are in this together, kumbaya, all that is death silence. And you're gonna be sleeping in the cellule or in the police station by yourself on the cold floor with the walls, the 4 walls of the prison. And you can hear your echo. You can even hear yourself breathe. That's when it's gonna dawn onto you when maybe your banga or your alcohol has cleared out from your brain. It dawns onto you that you are in here by yourself. And then you start seeing the lawyers coming in, and they start to explain you the repercussions of your actions. And it probably only lasted maybe like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Like 20, 30 minutes maximum. They start explaining you the repercussions of that. And then you feel the weight of the government come on you. And people seem to forget. Do you know Mancho BBC? Can you remember when the Norwest and Southwest Riot were just starting up?
Mm-hmm.
Mancho BBC and whatever, they're still in jail. And we're talking about almost 10 years of the civil unrest in the Northwest. If you can remember how popular they were, how they were commanding the crowd, how they were telling people like, we are going to bring change and blah, blah, blah. They're still in jail. Okay. Agbo Tabe is still in jail. Okay. Mm-hmm. This guy, the teacher guy, I've forgotten his name, popular guy, they're still in jail. This is 10 years. Okay. So this is easily a treasonous act. Easily a murder case can be placed on these people. You know, they're gonna be gone for a long time. It's sad to see young people, and those people, they look like in their teens or their early 20s.
Young people who have their lives really ahead of them.
Their whole lives are ahead of them, and yeah, it's sad to watch.
So again, still some of the violence happening up in the north. I think that was there, and then we also have this.
Ouais, voilà la maison de parti de Tchang en feu. Voilà ça.
So they burned down the office,
the CPDM building,
the CPDM building in Chang.
Yeah.
So
and
again,
that's a sentimental attachment because I know that building. I lived in Chang for 13 years. I walk in front of that building to the market, to my travel agency, to go to Bamenda or to go to bed. I know that building very well. It's really sad.
We have a little clip here from his name is something Momo.
Momo Jean de Dieu.
Je m'adresse ce matin à monsieur le ministre Issa Tchiroma, qui s'autoproclame vainqueur de l'élection présidentielle de 12 octobre 2025. Monsieur le ministre, chers collègues, est-ce que vous pensez sérieusement que vous avez les résultats de 32 000 bureaux de vote en moins de 24 heures de l'élection? Rappelez-vous ce que vous disiez lorsque l'un de nos collègues, M. Camto, s'était autoproclamé vainqueur. Vous le lui aviez rappelé qu'il était humainement impossible, de l'ordre de l'impossibilité mathématique, d'avoir les résultats moins de 24 heures après, n'est-ce pas, une élection, après un vote. Et vous savez que l'électorat ne se concentre pas dans la ville. La zone rurale est plus grande, plus vaste et contient un électorat pratiquement à plus de 65%, si j'ose dire. Vous ne pouvez pas compiler, n'est-ce pas? Vous ne pouvez pas compiler les résultats de Douala, de Yaoundé, de Garoua, de Maroua, et vous pensez que vous avez gagné. Ce n'est pas possible. Je pense que vous vous discréditez en faisant une telle sortie. J'ai vu votre sortie avec votre photo du nouveau président, une photo de président élu. Vous ne pouvez pas, vous inscrivez en marge de la loi. Vous savez que vous ne pouvez pas proclamer les résultats en lieu et place du Conseil constitutionnel. Vous ne pouvez pas le faire en lieu et place du Conseil constitutionnel. Pourquoi vous vous précipitez? Attendez, vous n'êtes pas serein. Mais cela me fait donc dire que vous avez un autre plan. C'est un plan de déstabilisation. Vous avez un plan, celui de tromper les jeunes pour les envoyer dans la rue. Votre véritable plan, c'est ça. Mais est-ce que c'est logique? Est-ce que c'est responsable? Vous-même, vous n'étiez pas prêt. Vous êtes parti à cette présidentielle, non pas pour gagner. Vous êtes parti pour préparer votre élection communale et législative. Vous êtes allé pour préparer les élections de l'année prochaine. C'est chemin faisant, c'est à moins une semaine du vote, que les gens du MRC ont basculé dans votre camp. Ce n'est pas votre électorat. Vous avez profité de l'électorat du MRC qui ne vous appartient pas. C'est-à-dire l'électorat extrémiste qui veut ce changement à la tête de l'État. C'était l'électorat du MRC. Alors dites-moi, comme vous n'étiez pas préparé à moins 6 jours du vote, vous n'avez donc pas pu mettre les scrutateurs dans tous les bureaux de vote. Vous ne les aviez pas. Vous n'avez pas pu trouver 32 000 spectateurs et scrutateurs, représentants dans vos bureaux de vote. Et il vous en fallait 2, c'est-à-dire 32 000 fois 2, 64 000 personnes que vous devriez déployer sur le terrain. Est-ce que vous les avez, M. Tchiroma? Est-ce que vous les avez eus? J'ai personnellement voté dans mon bureau de Douala. Vous n'étiez pas représenté. Même à Douala, vous n'étiez pas représenté. Même dans certains bureaux de Douala, vous n'étiez pas représenté. Parce que vous n'étiez pas préparé. Vous n'étiez pas préparé à être véritablement candidat à la présidentielle. Vous n'étiez pas préparé à gagner. Vous n'avez pas préparé donc ni les scrutateurs, ni les observateurs, enfin, ni les représentants dans les bureaux. Vous n'avez rien préparé. Alors, s'il vous plaît, n'essayez pas de mettre le feu dans notre pays. Et vous savez comment vos prédécesseurs ont terminé. C'est-à-dire ceux qui se sont précipités pour annoncer avant, n'est-ce pas, leur victoire, sans attendre. Vous ne pouvez convaincre personne. Vous ne pouvez pas convaincre ni la communauté internationale, ni les Camerounais qui ne sont pas bêtes, qui savent que vous n'avez pas gagné. enfin, je ne peux pas dire que vous n'avez pas gagné, qui savent que vous n'avez pas encore la possibilité d'avoir les résultats aujourd'hui. C'est de l'ordre de l'impossibilité mathématique, monsieur Issa Tchiroma. Je vous prie de redevenir responsable que vous avez été, avec lequel nous avons travaillé pendant 20 ans à construire. On n'a pas travaillé pendant 20 ans à construire.
Would it be absurd to agree with everything he said?
No, it's just what we said. I mean, pretty much everything we've just said on this show. I don't know. Yeah, pretty much everything we just said. I can't. Yeah, that's Momo Nji.
Yeah.
I think he's a minister delegate in charge of justice,
Mm-hmm.
if my memory serves me right, at the presidency.
Yeah.
He's also an opposition leader who was given the same position, who was given the same opportunity to come and serve in the government like Issa Tchiroma was. So, yeah. That's what it is. Yeah.
So that's where we are. So what's your prediction? What do you think is
I don't know.
is happening? Is going to happen?
I hate to be put on the spot to predict the future because I know man not be God, but I think the emotions are gonna wear out, and people realize they don't really love Issa that much. We're just trying to get on the bandwagon. He is gonna have a lot of questions to answer. He's gonna have a lot of dealings with Atanga Nji. We're interested to watch that showdown, but I think Cam is gonna return. I don't see him winning the elections. I'm sorry to say, as much as I want change in Cameroon, I hate that the 92-year-old is running, but I'm not sure Issa Tchiroma did enough able to convince Cameroonians in a short period of time to vote for him and carry him to the finish line. I don't think so. Um, I think probably is going to continue. He's probably going to die on that position, and yeah. But no, I think they're going to count, and it is what it is. My estimation is calm is going to return maybe in 2 3 days when emotions die down.
Well, can't disagree. I mean, my hopes are that there's things don't escalate. That there's
Yeah.
a de-escalation moving forward.
Mm,
My hope is that people would have burnt out their excitement
mm,
prior to the announcement of the elections, which
yeah.
might be just a good thing for us because
Yeah.
people's emotions would have settled,
Right.
people would have
Right.
calmed down, people would have had time to
Yeah.
think a little bit more about what may or may not have happened. People would
Mm,
begin to see that Issa Tchiroma couldn't have or may not have won the elections or couldn't have. People
yeah.
would be able to take time to reflect a little bit about what was
Mm,
happening. Again, like we've said this. We've said this. Yes, it's true. Paul Biya is not necessarily liked by most
no.
people. It's true that he's been there for too long. It's also true that we want change. But if you ask me, in my opinion, I don't want change just for the sake of change. I want
Right.
meaningful, impactful change, right?
And you're
Um,
not paid by Pobia.
Again, I'm not a member of the CPTM. I'm not a friend to the party. I'm not paid by Paul Biya, but I'm not even in Cameroon. So whatever
Yeah.
really happens doesn't affect me directly. So I don't
Yeah.
have a dog in this race,
Yeah.
as one would say, right? It doesn't matter if Kanto wins or Paul Biya, if Issa Tchiroma wins or Paul Biya wins.
Yeah.
It doesn't directly affect me. So I
Yeah.
don't have very strong attachment to who becomes president. But again, just logically,
We care because we from there
no,
and
I'm
because
not saying that we don't care, but I'm saying that
right.
you know the impact is more on those who are living in
Yeah.
ground. I might go there once in a while for a brief visit, right? So those who would benefit from a positive change would be those who are on the ground, those
Yeah.
hopefully who went out and voted. Because even though we had 8 million people, 8 million plus registered to vote, I don't think half of that number actually
No.
went out to vote.
No way.
That is
No
also
way.
another thing to really talk about. We are out on the streets proclaiming somebody a winner we did not vote for.
Yeah. And the saddest thing, if you go and ask those girls who have been arrested, they probably did not vote.
Probably don't even have a voter's card. Probably don't even have an an identification card.
Yeah.
Really?
It's sad. It's really sad.
What it is. I think that's it, right? We're
I think
rounding
that's
up.
it. Yeah, we're good. I think we're good.
I've heard a certain argument, which again, maybe I'll put it out there and let you comment before we round up. We will use that as a conclusion. Some people have argued that, again, it's an argument that we've debunked here, but some people are claiming that with the advancement in technology and advent in different means of communication, social media and all that, results can be gathered and compiled and declared in a day or 2 days. I hear some people, again, not my opinion. I wouldn't say this even if I was dreaming, that they could use WhatsApp
yeah,
to report votes or to report results. Completely unreasonable to me. That
I think it's very unreasonable.
One would suggest that official results should be channeled from the polling stations to the Elecam head office via WhatsApp messaging. But again, like I said, that is the argument that educated PhD holders and that is what people are saying.
Yeah, for a country where internet is on and off, for a country where that's and I want to lead, there's no road network, there's poor communication, there's everything. That aside, the main thing is who is to certify what you're going to send. Okay, we can have development, we can have an advancement in technology, and can have the result in 30 minutes. But who is going to certify? For me, that is my greatest roadblock.
Right.
Okay, if you cannot possibly have everybody in all these corners if you're a politician who just became very popular 3 weeks ago. Okay, Kanto has been popular for how many years? He did not have it for the last 8 years. This year, we were hoping that he's going to have people, at least in a significant chunk of the country, where we can have confidence to be able to vote, to be able to have people that will certify his votes. Okay, but for me, that's it. I mean, technology can always develop and transmission, but man, we're talking about 33,000 police stations in a country that has poor roads, in a country that how many people have computers? Okay, talk less of workable phones that you can be able to send messages through WhatsApp. Like people live in Douala, Yaoundé, and Boya, and I think that's the representation of Cameroon. I'm sorry, the people. Have you ever heard of pygmies? People who build their houses out of barks of trees and leaves. You have a polling station there. How you transmitting results? Come on now. Have you ever heard of people in Adamawa, in the villages and the crooks and crannies of Adamawa? Or talk about people who are living in Furawa, where the roads are not even. I mean, they're barely having roads now. Like really, come on, people.
So we have some very interesting comments following the social media declaration of results thing. So I'll start with Laura LC. You just read them. If we have if we comment, then we move on to the next. We'll start with that.
Nowadays, it's easier to have a passport than an ID.
Because we're talking about people who didn't have IDs and out protesting anyway. Next comment.
It's not about using WhatsApp, sir. Okay, what is it about? I don't know what that means.
Because I mean, it's maybe agreeing with people who are saying that results could be passed on from one office to the next via WhatsApp. First of all, WhatsApp is it's an unreliable means of communication. Yeah. Even though they might claim that it's back to back, but how do you validate where the message you are getting is coming from?
Right.
Yeah. How do you validate that? Which official documents or official communications is passed on from one office to another via WhatsApp? Yeah, I think for me that is what the problem is. Yeah. WhatsApp is not as reliable as we think. WhatsApp could be hacked
easily
as well. So it's not like it's ironclad most secure means of communication. It's not. Even if it was, there's no government or no real organization that operates communicates through WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Also, there is so much social media politics in Cameroon than the real politics on the ground. Very, very true, right? I see. Is like the voting happened on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram. That's where all the voting happened. I'm sorry to say, like,
we
sorry.
Cameroonians are very good at that. Come and see Auntie Feli and the Caros and they are not even in the country, right?
They're not even can.
They come and see the politicking that they are doing on social media.
Yeah.
So it's really sad. It's really sad.
And then in the very bird, they accuse other influencers of taking money. So can we
Yes.
say you also took money?
Maybe
from
they took money
the
from
kind of-
Tchiroma, because I get the feeling when you start endorsing Tchiroma 2 days before the elections, well, maybe he gave you a little bit of money. He bribed you.
Right.
He bribed you, or maybe you're playing your cards like Agbobala was playing his.
Yes, which is an interesting part that we did not talk about.
It's a very interesting piece that we did not talk about. Agbobala, he
suddenly best buddies with Issa Tchiroma.
Yes, to me he is how do you
an opportunist?
Opportunist.
He's an opportunist.
He is a very clear opportunist. I remember during the Aerophone class or the lawyer thing, I see how he took advantage of that and put himself in the forefront and became head and became leader. When that got over and he eventually got into prison and they brought him out, I saw him cozying a little bit with the government, and then all of a sudden he is a human rights activist and he's this and he's that. Yeah. Now, last time it was Kanto. This time around is Issa Tchiroma. Not all of a sudden, but 2 days to the elections, he goes up north and endorses Issa Tchiroma. I'm like, what is this guy? What is this guy?
People hold out principles.
What is this guy doing? So again, that is the kind of politicking that Lera else is saying. That again, people politicking on social media in Cameroon is way more than it actually is on the ground. Maybe not more than, but again, because it's on social media, that is what we see, right? Does not mean that there's a lot more than it happens on the ground. And I think this is a lot. No, we have a few more comments. Let's see. This is about people who have had enough of the system. I agree.
Isn't that what we just said? That
I agree. People have had enough. They are tired of Biya. They're tired of the system. If you're tired of Paul Biya and not tired of Issa Tchiroma, you have a problem. Because Issa Tchiroma has been in that government for more than 20 years, has held important positions. Minister of Transportation, no roads done. I remember an interview with Mimi Menfo where he said he was the most productive minister, and they asked him, okay, yes, you were the most productive. What did you do? Give me a list of your accomplishments as minister in any capacity. And he had nothing to say, and of course diverted the conversation. So if you're worried about Paul Biya and you're not worried about Issa Tchiroma, you have a serious problem, in my opinion.
For me, I mean, people have the right to choose Issa Tchiroma if they want. Fair enough, but we cannot ignore the blatant hypocrisy. We cannot ignore the lie telling. We cannot ignore the destabilization. They're coming out as a deliberate act of destabilizing the country and putting young people's life at risk and the country at large at risk. We cannot ignore that. Okay, vote for him. One, I think he's fine, and all of us are mad at Biya and frustrated with the government. But it remains, we cannot get someone who is going to come in through lies telling, who is a hypocrite, who is disloyal, who doesn't like his own constituents.
Kaluji put up. Kaluji is my cousin. Just putting it out there.
Fair.
Yeah. He says, "Oh, what you are saying is a little biased." Are we?
Yeah. I mean, know. Yeah, we might have a bias.
They might have some, yeah, you're right. I can't completely deny that.
We might have a bias, but I'm not sure he can say he's not without bias too.
I agree. Okay, and I think that's the last thing. It's not Issa Tchiroma. I mean, it's who.
That's what we said. People voted against Biya. They didn't really vote for Issa Chiroma. I think we said that clearly here. People don't like Biya and they're frustrated with the country.
I think the conversation should have been titled Issa Tchiroma versus Issa
Really,
Tchiroma.
that would have been the perfect title of the conversation.
Somebody said he's transferring wine from one old bottle to another. I mean, it feels like, simply put, he's transferring wine from one wine bottle to another. Yeah,
it is what it is.
That's what I think. Okay, Ghana, I don't think we have any other videos.
No, that's it.
You want to conclude? I know we wanted to. Did you want to talk about this one?
We did talk about that. That was the statement from Joshua Osi.
Okay.
He says he wants, just to summarize, and I'm paraphrasing here, he wants due process to be followed and the constitutional the laws laid for the governing of election in Cameroon to be followed. He sounded like he's giving up. He doesn't think he's going to be the president, but he wants for due process to take place. He did not, from every indication, he did not endorse Issa Tchiroma. So we have one person that did not endorse Issa Tchiroma, who did not congratulate Issa Tchiroma. I'm sorry, congratulate Issa Tchiroma.
Kaluji said he wants to be part of the debate. I don't know if it's too late.
Can we give him too late? I think he wants to come on. Okay.
Can we give him 5 minutes? Maybe.
Absolutely. It'll be such a pleasure.
Okay. Kaluji, this is what we are going to do. I'm going to send you. I am going to send you I'm going to send you a link on your Facebook Messenger. That's how they call it, right? I haven't used it in a while. So
that's how you know we're old.
That's how you know we're old. Kaluji, I've sent you a link on your Facebook message. So, no, Facebook message. It's a StreamYard. So click on the link. It would bring you to the platform, and then I will introduce you for a quick comment.
I wish you'd have been part of the conversation where we started.
Yeah, I wish we would have brought you, because again, it diversifies and expands the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, it checks us on our biases and assumptions, and because we've always created a platform for free ideas, free flow of ideas, free exchanges, respectful exchanges. I think that's what we want to model. You don't only talk to people that agree with you. Talk to people that
you disagree with, of course. I think say next time. I think next time I'll be able to. Wait,
okay.
Is he agreeing? Oh, I'm not sure what he's saying. I'll give him a minute. If he comes on, we'll bring him on, and then if not, we'll just conclude. We've been on for about an hour and a half, and it's a Wednesday. Okay. Yep. Issa Tchiroma. Okay. Ghana, let's conclude. We would.
Okay, yeah. I think we've already said what we wanted to say. My last word would be: I hope peace reigns. I hope people can have a clear mind and emotions are down, and we can get the proper result. And the winner is actually the winner. If it comes out that Issa Tchiroma won clean and clear, fair, I hope you're very happy to have change. But I also have a responsibility to myself and the people that I talk to be able to reveal all these hypocrisies that I see. It's not just the hypocrisy on one side, the incumbent, but also on the opposition. But like I said, I don't mind people choosing Issa Tchiroma. It is what that's a choice as long as the one change, but he has to win the election. That's all I have to say. And if the election doesn't go, if the announcement doesn't go your way, the government controls your life, but the government doesn't control all of your life. Okay, you have a life besides the government. Do what you can. Politics It's not going to change your daily running, even if Issa Tchiroma is president tomorrow. Do what you have to for yourself, for your family, and for your community.
Perfect. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining in and for submitting your comments. It's quite an interesting conversation, and again, your comments kind of expand and bring new perspectives to the conversation, which is really, 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 really what drives this show. We are going to be on again in the next couple of days, so we will see you next time. Have yourself a wonderful night, a good morning, and a good day. Thank you.
Okay.